A shell of mass 2m is projected with a velocity that has horizontal component u. At some point before it reaches the top, the shell explodes into equal fragments, one of which instantly comes to rest and falls into a long tunnel at a distance d from the point of projection. If the coordinates of C means the center of mass here, right? The coordinates of C are alpha and minus beta, find the height where the explosion occurred, also the range of the other particle. So according to the question, the coordinate of the center of mass here is alpha comma minus beta. What is the motion of the center of mass? As throughout the motion till B touches the ground, both the bodies were in air. So if the bodies are in air, the center of mass will only follow a parabolic path, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the trajectory of the center of mass will be a parabolic motion like this. And this coordinate is given alpha comma minus beta. So from there I can find the y coordinate of the point A. Right? Point A is when this particle B hits the ground, center of mass is here, and point A is here. The other particle A is here. So if I say that its coordinates are d, comma y, d is given. This distance d is given. I need to calculate this height h. So from the y coordinates of center of mass, suppose this is x comma 0, I can say that m into 0 plus m into y divided by 2m. It is the y coordinate of center of mass minus beta. Y is equal to minus 2 beta, yes or no? So this coordinate of A is d comma minus 2 beta. Now I have to find this height h. So this height is 2 beta. Can I find from here? If this is minus 2 beta, so this height is 2 beta. Now again, can you say that the center of mass has no horizontal velocity or no horizontal force, so the horizontal component of the velocity u remains constant.
Yes, sir.
So when the center of mass reaches here, from here to here, can I find the time of the center of mass to come from here to here? This is the point of explosion. So can I write that the time of center of mass to come from E to C? Can you tell me what is the time? From here to here, what is the time taken by the center of mass to come?
So is it alpha minus d by
D by
u?
2u.
Yes, it is alpha minus d by u. Because this much horizontal distance is alpha minus d. If this is alpha, this is d, so this much is alpha minus d. Right? This much is alpha minus d. Can I say that by the time the center of mass has come from here to here, by the same time this particle has traveled h plus 2 beta height?
Yes, sir.
So can I write this equation that h plus 2 beta is equal to half gt square, where t I have got alpha minus d by u. So the value of h is equal to half gt square, t is alpha minus d by u whole square, minus 2 beta. Right? So if this is the height, and I have to now calculate what is the range of the second particle b here. Basically I have to find x. I can easily find that m into x plus m into d divided by 2m is equal to alpha. Can I say that? So x equal to 2 alpha minus d. This is the first answer to the question. This is the second answer of the question. Check if you have done the same calculations.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. It says a string of length 12 is held at one end O with ceiling, while other end is held a horizontal position A such that OA is equal to L. So this distance is L given. At end A, a ball of mass m is attached. Now the ball is released from this situation. This is m. Now the ball is released from this situation. Mark the correct options. When the string will be taut. Can you just tell me from here till the string becomes taut, how the ball moves?
Vertically downward.
Yes. Vertically downward under gravity. So the ball directly comes down till the string becomes taut. Let us assume string becomes taut at this position. If this length is 12, then what is this angle theta? Is that 60 degree?
Yes, sir. 60. Yes, sir.
So the first option, when the string will be taut, it makes 30 degree with vertical line. Is the correct option?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Just tell me, just before the string is taut, what was the velocity of that ball?
Root over 2g into vertically downward move.
Vertically downward u. And what is the value of that u?
Under root of 2g root 3l.
Root over 2gh. Now l is root 3, by h is root 3 by 2 into 12. 12 sine 60 degree, right? So it is 2 root 3 gl. Tell me, just after the string becomes taut, what is the direction of velocity of that ball?
It becomes tangential and that perpendicular to the tangential, that means passing through the ball that is passing through the string, it becomes zero instant.
Yes?
So,
So-
only the tangential velocity, the tangential
Yes.
component will
It
be
will
there.
now
other
onward. It
component
will
will
only move
not
in
be
a
there.
circular path. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if it moves now onward in a circular path, then definitely its velocity is tangent at this point. Now if I have to find the velocity at this instant, this v, can I say that the impulse on that ball acts along the line?
Yes, sir.
This tension T. So if impulse acts along this line, can I say that this line is no impulse line?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because it is perpendicular to this tension. Along this line, if there is no impulse, just before and after collision, can we conserve its linear momentum along this line?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So conservation of linear momentum along no impulse line or no impact line, along low impulse line. What equation I will write? What is the component of u along this line?
The u root 3 by 2. No, sir, u by 2. U by 2.
This angle is how much? This angle is 30 degree. So this angle is 60 degree, I think. Right? This angle is 60 degree. So u cos 60 degree is u by 2. So can I say mu cos 60 degree is equal to mv? Can I write this one?
Yes, sir.
Conservation of linear momentum along this line. It was u along this line, so u cos 60 degrees along this line. So mu cos 60 degree is equal to mv. So this is the conservation of momentum along no impulse line. From there, what is the velocity v that we can calculate? It's u by 2 means root 3 by 2 gf. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So this is wrong option. Just after the string is taut, what is the tension in the string? Now, what this tension is doing? This tension is changing the momentum from mu to mv. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So what is the impulse of the tension? This is the not impulse. Just after the string is taut, what is the tension that it is asking about? Then after the string is taut, then tension is no longer an impulsive force, because now the string has become taut. So if the string has become taut, now suppose this is the string, the mass is here, and you are sitting here at O in a reference frame that is also rotating with this line. So at this instant, what are the forces that you will see?
Sir, the centrifugal force, that is the pseudo force, and the component of the weight.
Yes, weight, tension, and centrifugal force. What is the centrifugal force? Centrifugal force is how much?
mv square by r.
mv square by 2l. Right?
By 2l.
Yes, and this angle is 30 degree. Yes or no? So can I write from this free body diagram that T is equal to mg cos 30 degree plus mv square by 12. So mg cos 30 degrees mg root 3 by 2 plus mv square by 12 is root 3 mg divided by 4. So how much it is? 3 root 3 mg by 4. Have you got this one as your answer? So option 3 root 3 mg by 4 is correct. Impulse of the tension during the string, the process of taut. Look, the impulse of the tension is actually changing the momentum. Right? The impulse of the tension is actually changing the momentum from mu to mv. But in this process of change in momentum, is the momentum along this line changes? Is that
No, sir.
momentum change? No. So in which direction momentum only changes? Along the
According
direction
means
of
in the
tension.
direction of the tension.
Yes. Momentum change along tension is equal to integral of t dt, right? And what is integral of t dt? Final momentum is 0. And what is initial momentum along this line? What is initial momentum along this line? Yes? Initial momentum along this line is what? Along this line, what is initial linear momentum?
Sir, I cannot hear you. Sir?
Can you hear my voice?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir. I cannot hear, sir. Only the cracking.
No, sir, it's
Okay.
good.
Sir, it's okay.
Yes, everyone else can hear me. I think there is one network issue in your end. So now tell me, what is the initial momentum along this line? I am only talking about along this line momentum change, because along this line there is no momentum change. We have already
mu
seen that.
by 2.
MU sin 60.
Is it mu sin 60?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Along this line, what I am saying, along the tension T, what is initial linear momentum?
Minus mu.
Minus mu
Yes, sir. Minus mu sin.
sin 60. Right? Plus minus is very important because they are vector quantities. Right? Initial momentum was along this line. So along this line it is minus. So integral of t dt, the impulse of the tension is equal to mu sin 60. Mu root 3 by 2. Right? M root 3 by 2 into u is equal to 3 root 3 by 2 mgl, right? M into 3 root 3 by 2 into gl. So I think this option is also correct. Now let us move to this question. It says two small disks A and B of masses m1 m2 are connected by a light inextensible thread of length L and are placed on a frictionless horizontal floor. The disk A is held at rest, B is projected to move around with a constant speed u in the circular path. If the disk A is now released, B will move in a path as shown in figure. Which disk has more mass? And find suitable expression for step lengths P and Q. Right.
So what is step?
Step length means this length. These are periodic things. These lengths will come in periods, right? That's why it is known as step length.
Okay, sir.
So let us try to understand the question. Have you tried this question first? Tell me.
No, sir, I got one answer.
All right. Yes. If you have tried it, then you have understood that this question, if I directly want to solve from ground reference frame, it will be difficult to solve. Yes or no?
Yes, sir, you had given a mean to solve from center of mass.
Yes. So we will solve this question from center of mass frame. Initially the disks were at rest. Disk A was at rest and B was moving in a circular path. So at some instant, when B has a velocity u like this, I have released that system. After that, the point A will also start moving with some velocity. So I cannot confirm that what is the motion of A or motion of B, but I can say that there is a point C which is
Sir?
not. Yes, tell me.
See, is the mass of B less?
Mass of B?
Mass of A.
Yes.
Then mass of B.
Yes. Mass of B is less than mass of A. How you can solve it?
So we can consider the instantaneous center.
Instantaneous center.
Yes, sir.
What is instantaneous center here?
So, or if you consider, if you consider the A is moving forward with the R1 omega and B is moving backward with the R2 omega, so both the particles will move forward. So we can say the velocity of A with respect to
How
ground
can you
will be
say
V.
both the particles will move forward?
So both the particles move forward.
How can you say that? With respect to ground, can I say that both the particles will move forward? It may
Not
happen
always.
at certain instant the velocity is in opposite direction, in left side also. Right. So from ground frame, you cannot say about their velocities. What I can say about the point center of mass C? Can I only say that the center of mass will move with a constant velocity? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I can only say that center of mass moves with a constant velocity Vc. And what is the value of Vc? That also I can find. What is the value of Vc?
M20 U by 1 plus M2.
What is mass of B? M2, right? M2 into U divided by M1 plus M2, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is velocity of center of mass. Now, with respect to center of mass, can I say that particle B moves in a circular path?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, if I say that with respect to center of mass, what is the motion of particle B? We can simply draw a circle. Right? So, first this motion will be discussed in two different steps. First step is identifying the motion about center of mass, then identifying the motion with respect to ground. So with respect to center of mass, the motion of B is like this. With respect to center of mass, B is moving with a constant and uniform speed. Can I say that? Because there is no tangential force with respect to center of mass. Center of mass itself is non-accelerating frame, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
So I can say that the particle moves with a constant VBC with respect to center of mass. Speed I am talking about, not the velocity.
Yes, sir.
So what is VBC?
U minus VC.
It is VBC is equal to U at this instant. Whatever may be the velocity here at this instant, everywhere will be the same. So it will be U minus M2U by M1 plus M2. Are you getting what I am doing here?
Yes, sir.
So is it M1 into U by M1 plus M2? Now look, at every point, if you want to find the velocity of the particle B with respect to ground, what you will do? You will just add this velocity VBC with velocity of C, yes or no? Then I can find the velocity of B with respect to ground.
Yes, sir.
Can you understand this motion? When you have added this VC with VBC, what you will get? The resultant velocity will give you what? The resultant velocity will give you the velocity of particle disk with respect to ground. Now let us talk about the question that is given. The particle B moves in this spiral path with respect to ground. So what about the direction of velocity at this lowest point? What is the direction of velocity at its lowest point? It is with respect to ground. Can you tell me what is the direction of velocity at this lowest point?
Along the southeast direction, like that.
Is it southeast direction? At the lowest point? At the lowest point the velocity should be parallel.
The west.
Yes. It's only towards left, this direction. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is velocity of B with respect to ground. It is velocity of B with respect to ground. Can I say that this point, suppose this point is any name you can say, E. Can I say this point represents this lowest point? Yes or no? When the particle is at the lowest point with respect to ground, basically with respect to center of mass also it is at the lowest point, at this point. Yes or no? Because center of mass is moving in a straight line.
Yes.
So that has to be the lowest point.
Yes, sir.
Now at lowest point the velocity is left side direction. So which one will be more, VBC or VC?
BBC.
BBC.
VBC, right? So the first question says that as at lowest point VBC is greater than VC. So from here, can I find which one is higher mass?
Sure. Yes.
M1 is greater than M2. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is the answer to the first question. Understood this part?
Sir, how can we understand that velocity of B with respect to center of mass is always constant?
If the velocity is not a constant, velocity means I am not talking about velocity, I am talking about speed. Speed constant or velocity constant? What you are saying?
Just speed.
If speed is not constant, then what is needed? If in a circular motion speed is not constant, what is needed?
Tangential.
Tangential force. Now here, what is that tangential force?
Yes, sir. No
First of
tangential
all,
force.
yes, first of all, there is no external force. And second of all, center of mass itself is non-accelerated. So there is no pseudo force also. So there is no force which is a tangential force to that particle motion. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Up to this, is it clear, everyone? Now look.
Sir, why is BBC better than BC?
Yes, come again. I could not hear you.
Sir, why is a BBC better than BC?
At this point, look, at this point, what is the direction of velocity? Is it left side or right side? What is the direction of velocity of the particle B?
The left side.
So is the velocity of particle B is vector addition of V, BC and VC?
Yes, sir.
Now if it is left side, then which vector has to be a maximum?
Yes, sir, understood.
Higher value, yes. VBC has to be higher value than VC. Now what about this distance P? Can you see that the particle starts from E and when again comes back to the position E, by the same time the center of mass has displaced by this displacement P? Yes or no?
So what you told, can you repeat please?
I am saying in the next question I have to find P. So from here to here, if I say this is P, so what is P basically? P is nothing but displacement of the particle B along x-axis. Yes or no?
Yes,
It
sir.
is the displacement of the particle B along x-axis.
Yes, sir.
Can I say this is nothing but displacement of particle B with respect to C along x-axis plus displacement of center of mass along x-axis? Can I say that? If you break it in vectors,
Yes, sir.
now can anyone tell me what is this first term, displacement of particle B with respect to C along x-axis?
0.
Is it 0 because it starts from E and again comes back E from here to here? Yes or no?
Yes.
And what is the displacement of center of mass at that time? Can I say center of mass moving with a constant velocity, multiplied it with time, you will find the answer?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is this time period? Is that time period? That means the time particle takes to move one circle with respect to center of mass.
Yes, sir.
So what is that time?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is that time?
2 pi r by v.
2 pi r divided by what?
b.
BC.
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 Yes. B with respect to C. So that you will find r divided by BC. Acha, first, can I calculate this r radius? What is
Yes,
this
sir.
radius r?
So m1 into L by m1 plus m2.
Yes. M1 into L by M1 plus M2. How we can say that? Because this center of mass divides the lengths between the masses in an inverse ratio of M1 and to M2. Yes or no? Have we
Yes.
seen that earlier? That center of mass divides in an inverse ratio. Higher the mass, center of mass closer to that. Right? So if this is R and this is VBC, what is R divided by VBC? Is it L by U?
Yes, sir.
So the value of P should be M1U, M2U divided by M1 plus M2 multiplied by 2 pi L by U. U gets cancelled out. So your answer of P should be M2 2 pi M2L divided by M1 plus M2. Check if you have got this one or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now what can I find about Q? If you closely observe this motion with respect to ground, at this position
Sir?
Q, yes,
So in the previous question, we can also tell by symmetry that the displacement of made by B equals to displacement made by C.
By symmetry means?
Fit in the Venn diagram.
In this
If
diagram?
we pass a line through that point E and E, joining the point of intersection means vertical.
Means if we consider the center of mass to be at rest, then when it will be vertical, then the as the center of mass velocity is zero, so it is coming at the topmost point, and in this diagram
How
when it is
vertical center of mass velocity is 0?
No, sir.
vertical or horizontal.
Center of mass velocity is a constant. You can never change the velocity of center of mass.
No, sir. I am not telling that. Means a vertical line passing through the 2 points means both points are named as E. If you
E.
pass a vertical line through those 2 points,
Yes.
then we can tell symmetry because that point distance between that point is only the displacement made by B equals to displacement made by C. You can tell.
So you are saying this point. This point.
No, sir. No, sir.
Which point you are talking about?
The 2 points E.
Yes. These 2 points.
Yes, sir.
Then?
So we can then tell that the displacement made by B between the 2 points E equals to displacement made by C between the 2 points.
Displacement made by between these 2 points equal to displacement made by between these 2 points.
No, the 2 points E point. The 2 points in the below points named as E.
Yes, I am only saying that these 2 points are E. Then what you are saying? These 2 points are E.
Yes, then we can tell that the means the horizontal velocity of the center of mass in that time period is only carrying the means
Yes, this is
at
0.
that
Velocity
point,
or displacement
the
of B
displacement
with
is only of the
center
down
of
parts
mass.
are not coming.
R is not coming. How you can find that displacement? You have to find the time period, otherwise how you can find it?
No, sir. I am telling that we can tell by symmetry that delta SB equals to delta SC.
Delta SB equal to delta SC. By symmetry, how you can say that? Delta SB is equal to delta SC. Means you are saying that
Hello.
yes, yes, I can hear you. It's coming from here to here by the same point. I have not got the symmetry, but it's very clear that it is 0 with respect to center of mass. Right? I'm not getting what you are saying. But again, is that solution okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I have to calculate is that distance q. Tell me, what is the direction of velocity of B at this point? Can you understand from the diagram? What is the velocity, direction of velocity of B at this point? Yes?
Partially downward.
Yes, it is vertical like this. This is the velocity of B. And what is velocity of B at this point? It is upward. So I have to find that this Q is nothing but what? Q is nothing but displacement of B along x-axis, and it is nothing but displacement of B with respect to C along x-axis plus displacement of center of mass along x-axis. Yes or no? The same equation I have written here. Only the time interval is changed. Now can you tell me that whether now this part is 0 or not? Displacement of B with respect to
What?
C along x-axis, is it 0 now?
No, sir, it's 2R.
Is it 2R
What?
now?
Yes, sir, 2R.
Yes, sir.
No, it is not 2R now. Again, you think about this this circular path. You think about this circular path. So many things to understand in this question. At these 2 points, these velocities are perpendicular. Can you identify where are these 2 points lie on this circular path? Where these 2 points actually lie on this circular path? Yes,
It is less than 2R. It is less than 2R. So
it will be less than 2R. But where does this 2 point lie on
the
this circle?
lower portion of the circle.
Lower portions. At this portion, maybe the velocity is vertical of the point B. Why? Because with respect to center of mass, it is with respect to center of mass, the velocity of B is along this line. And with respect to ground, what is the velocity of B? I have to add vectorically VBC plus VC, yes or no?
Yes.
So now you got a chance where the resultant of these two vectors is actually vertical. Can you find any other point where the velocity is vertical?
And the
Just opposite.
image of this point.
If this angle is theta, can you say that at the same angle theta here, velocity of B with respect to C is in this direction, velocity of C is same in the same direction. So this is the velocity of B.
Yes, sir.
So this distance, the displacement I am talking about, velocity displacement of B with respect to C is between these 2 points, right? If this point is say R and this point is S, right? Then this is between R and S only, right? So what is this RS horizontal distance? Can I find this horizontal distance? Is that
2R.
horizontal distance 2R sin theta? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Will
Yes,
it be
sir.
plus or minus? Look, the particle has come from this side to this side.
Minus towards sin theta.
Minus 2R sin theta. And by the same time, the displacement of center of mass along x-axis is Vc into t. If the time taken for the particle to come from R to S is t. Check whether you have got this equation or not.
Yes.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Can you find what is theta? What is theta? How do I calculate theta?
Sir, at that position S, the horizontal components VBC and VC cut.
Yes.
So by theta components, we can.
So
solve
can I
theta.
say VBC sine theta or cos theta? Whatever I will say. If this is theta, this is 90 minus theta. I think this will be theta. Yes. So
VBC cos theta
VBC
equals to
cos
VC.
theta is equal to VC. So cos
Yes.
theta is equal to VC by
Yes.
VBC. What is the ratio of VC and VBC? Is it M2 by M1 only?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I can write Q is equal to, and what is T?
So 2r theta divided by VC. And
VBC.
there we can substitute the value of theta.
Yes. Then you can find the value of Q because I know the value theta, I know the value of T, then I can find what is the value of Q also. It will be a long expression. So that is VC into T. If I first write it, VC is M2 into U by M1 plus M2 into T. T is 2 into R by VBC. R by VBC is L by U. Into theta is cos inverse M2 by M1. Yes or no? Minus 2R sin theta. 2R is M1L by M1 plus M2. Sin theta is root under 1 minus M2 square by M1 square. Right? So that should be your answer. If you want, you can modify it as 2L by M1 plus M2. 2L by M1 plus M2. U gets cancelled out. M2 cos inverse M1 M2 by M1 minus root over of M1 square minus M2 square. So I think that should be the value of Q. Look, a lengthy one, definitely, but we can understand so many things that how we can resolve now the motion, or how we can analyze the motion into two parts, one with respect to center of mass and then with respect to ground. Right? I think this answer will be minus of that because displacement from here to here, the net displacement is along this line. Na? The Q is from R to S as the particle is moving from here to here. So Q is from R to S. So this direction I should take positive. Right? So I should take this positive, this negative. I think that should be negative, that should be positive. This minus this will be your answer. Because the particle is moving actually in this direction, that its velocity from R to S is towards left. So the displacement is from R to S. I will not say the displacement from S to R. Right? So from R to S, this direction is positive. So this direction is positive. The center of mass velocity is negative. The center of mass displacement I will take negative. Yes, so that should be the answer of this question. So let's start with collision. Look, collision happens when this situation is there. Suppose two balls are there, they are moving along the same line with their initial velocities UA and UB. And the balls are moving such that UA is greater than UB. Then only they will collide, right? So the first condition for collision is that UA is greater than UB, then they will collide. This is the situation before the collision, and it is the situation after the collision. If I say that after collision, after this entire process is over, there will be no more collisions. So for that to happen, VA should be less than VB, right? So that this ball will never hit this ball again.
So why less than VB?
Otherwise, the collision is not over. You cannot say that the collision is over. If it is greater than VB, then again it will collide. Yes or no?
Means we are taking a case after all the collisions.
Yes. So after this entire process, this is the situation. Before it is the situation. Now, what happens in between that the balls are changing their velocities? Although, if you take them as a system, if you take inside the system there are two balls, then what is the total momentum of the system? Can I say?
That's conserved.
Always conserved, right? Just before and after collision, even if there is some external force, but until unless there is some impulsive external force, the momentum of the system cannot be changed during the collision, right? So what happens in between?
Even in presence of external force, the momentum will be conserved.
Yes, just before and just after the collision, because what is the time duration of this collision process?
So very short.
Very short time duration, and we know that
Sure.
in short time duration, yes, no, if the force is not impulsive, we cannot change the momentum.
So my question is that these two balls are a system, so no external force is only acting. So
Yes.
no question of.
But even if suppose there is gravitational force acting on it, I'm not saying that gravitation is in this direction. Suppose there is some other force acting on the ball in this horizontal direction, and that force is finite, like gravitation force, right? It may be electrostatic force. It
Can't
may
change the
charge-
momentum.
In that case, also you can conserve the momentum. That's what I am saying. Even if there is some external force, just before and just after the collision, I will be able to conserve the linear momentum, because that external force is not impulsive. Have you got this one? We have already discussed about that in our last class, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So let's focus what is going on in between the two conditions. Look, after some time, when these two balls are in contact, now what will happen? Now, suppose this ball is A and this ball is B. Now on the ball A, you can see that there is a normal reaction provided by B, and on the ball B there is another normal reaction provided by A. Yes or no? Can you say that these normal reactions are impulsive? Yes or no?
Yes, so they're
Yes,
changing
sir.
the individual momentum.
Yes. That is why the individual momentums are changing. These normal reactions are known as deforming force. Why the deforming force? Because you will find that after some time, the ball will no longer remain their original shape. There will be some deformation in the ball. Due to this application of these forces, there will be some deformation on the ball. Right? How much deformation, that we don't have to find, but there will be some deformation due to this large impulsive force.
It means even in hard substances, some extent of
Yes,
deformation will be there.
definitely. there will always be some deformation, whatever maybe the material is. So this deformation is caused by these deforming forces, and these deforming forces are not only the reason for deformation, but can you say that now the velocity of the ball A, it decreases, and velocity of ball B now increases, yes or no? If you talk
Yes,
about
sir.
individual
Yes, sir.
velocities, so it is very easy to understand that now the velocity of ball A decreases and B increases. So initially UA was greater than UB. Now if it decreases and B increases, will they reach at a certain time when their velocities will be equal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Can I say that at this moment the deformation is maximum?
So means while this transition means one is decreasing, one is increasing, a time will come when both will be equal.
Yes, both velocity will be equal. At this point I can say that the deformation force is maximum, because deformation will be there when there is a relative velocity between the ball, right? Then only they will press to each other with a larger force, and at this moment their relative velocity becomes zero. Yes or no? So that is why this deforming force is minimum at this instant. After that, what happens? That is interesting. That
Can
after
you
that,
repeat this part, sir? This max deformation.
yes, they are deforming, but is the if the velocity, relative velocities are decreasing, then the deformation will definitely decrease, and this is the maximum deformation you will find. Just like a spring, if you say that two blocks you have connected with a spring, and you have given them a velocity, so when the deformation of the spring will be maximum?
So when relative velocity will be zero.
The same thing is happening here.
তো অমনি করে আমরা ভাবতে পারি কি যখন দুটোর মধ্যে রিলেটিভ ভেলোসিটি জিরো হবে তারপরে আবার একজন হচ্ছে এসকেপ করার চেষ্টা করবে বেশি ভেলোসিটি পেয়ে তাই কমে যাবে
Yes,
deformation.
after that the spring will again elongate. But at maximum compression or maximum deformation, can you see that it is the situation when
Yes, sir.
their relative velocity is zero? Right?
Yes, sir.
So after that what happens? After that, as you have told, that after that the spring will again try to regain its original shape, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So after that this spring will push that block again. Can you tell me now what is the direction of force on this block A? Is it the same of ND or it is the opposite of ND?
So it should be opposite, no, the restoring one.
No, it is the same direction, because spring is again pushing that block. If you compress, for example, if let us assume one block is at rest, there is a spring. If you have compressed the spring and then release that spring, when you are compressing the spring, you are applying a force in this direction. When the spring is compressed, right, again when you release that spring, the spring will push it in this direction. So in order to make that ball or make that block move slowly,
Regain its position.
what is the direction of the external force? Same direction or not? If the spring is in equilibrium, this block is in equilibrium, so when you are compressing, the force is in this direction.
So that
But-
it slowly restores itself. So
Yes, slowly it restores itself. But again, so this force will be in the same direction until when it reaches the original shape. After the original shape or the natural length, then the force will be reversed. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
After the natural length is regained, then the force will be reversed. But here the balls will never attain their natural lengths. On B there will be the same force. But these forces, I say that these forces are called restoring force. This is called deforming force. ND is deforming force. Because this force is deforming the body, it is the deforming force, right? It is the deforming force. And NR is what? A reforming force.
Restoring.
Yes, or restoring force, you can say. So what is NR doing? Now after this situation is attained, after that the particles will try to regain their original shape. Right? They are trying to regain their original shape. Regain original shape. Why I am saying trying? Because the particles will never be able to regain their original shape. Only an ideal particle known as elastic particle, we can assume that they regain their original shape completely.
They will have a tendency.
Yes, otherwise no particle is there which regains their original shape completely. Now
Why?
Yes?
Sir, why?
That is the property of material, right? That is a basic property of matter. That
Okay,
whatever force you apply, there will be some sort of deformation still be there.
Okay, sir.
Can you tell me now, after this NR is applied, will the velocity of A will increase from V or velocity of A will decrease from V?
Please.
Again decrease. So
Please.
velocity.
Please repeat this part.
Because NR in the same opposite direction. So will the velocity of A will increase from V or decrease from V?
Decrease.
And velocity of B? It will increase from V, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So that is why finally when they will reach, you can see VA is less than VB. Because VA is less than V and VB is greater than V. When it reaches the final condition, can you say that the ball will regain their original shape or still there will be some sort of deformation present?
Some will remain, some
Yes.
deformation.
So that is why I can always say that the kinetic energy of this final situation is always less than or equal to the initial situation. Can you tell me why? Where did that extra kinetic energy went?
So that is due to
Some from sound energy.
No, I'm not talking about any other energy.
Total reformation.
Only mechanical energy I'm talking about.
Deformation, like it
Yes.
Please wait a
shown
bit.
as potential energy, sir.
Yes, good. For any deformation, you are increasing potential energy. Remember, I have defined potential energy as the change in the shape or configuration. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
So if the original shape is changed, you have definitely increased the potential energy of the body. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if some amount of kinetic energy is converted into the potential energy stored in the body, then the final kinetic energy is definitely less than or equal to the initial kinetic energy. Yes or no? Yes.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
So the momentum we will conserve when, sir, in this case, in this collision?
Anytime of the system you can always conserve the momentum.
না impulsive force তো act করছে না
But I am taking them as a system. If you take as a
ও
system,
দুটোকে সিস্টেম
yes.
ওকে স্যার
Is this clear?
So as a whole, their momentum will not change due to finite force.
Yes. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Here I have written kinetic energy is maximum initial case, kinetic energy is final less than or equal to initial kinetic energy. And can I say here the kinetic energy is minimum? Can you tell me why I have written it here?
Maximum deformation,
Yes, because
Maximum
potential
deformation.
energy is
maximum
maximum.
loss in Ke due to potential.
Yes, good. All right. Now I can look. I cannot conserve energy in all the cases of collision. In every questions of collision, do not conserve energy because energy conservation is only applicable when the collision is perfectly elastic collision, right?
Yes.
Elastic collision. Otherwise, you cannot conserve energy. As I have said, that energy is always less than or equal to the initial kinetic energy. But you can conserve momentum. So what else equation I can write? This equation is known as coefficient of restitution. It says E equal to VB minus VA divided by, it will be UA minus UB, right? This is coefficient of restitution. Or you can easily understand that in numerator it is the relative velocity of separation, yes or no? VB minus VA is the relative velocity of separation. And denominator is UA minus UB. What is UA minus UB?
Relative of A with respect to B.
Yeah,
A
it
with
is
respect
relative
to B.
velocity of approach. So E is the ratio of that.
Sir.
Yes.
So please repeat what terms you use, sir. Approach and other one.
Yes, that in numerator it is relative velocity of separation. Denominator is relative velocity of approach. Yes or no?
Sir, between UB and UA, is that a plus sign?
UA minus UB, yes. Plus UA minus UB. So why I have written that? Because when they will separate, VB is greater than VA, but when they are approaching, UA is greater than UB, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is why in order to make E always positive, E cannot be negative. I have written the formula like this. You will always...
Could you please tell what is the physical meaning of the term restitution, coefficient of restitution?
It is only a formula. It gives you an idea about what type of collision it is.
Okay.
If E equal to 1, I can say the collision is perfectly elastic.
Elastic.
If E less
Sir,
than
it
1,
can never be greater than 1.
E cannot be greater than 1. E is less than or less than 1, it is inelastic. And E can be 0, it is known as perfectly inelastic collision.
Sir, it is just a indicator, does not have any physical value then.
Yes.
Physical significance.
It has a
Sir,
physical
E less than
significance.
1 is
We will talk about that.
inelastic.
Yes, we have written it. E equal to 1 is elastic, less than 1 inelastic, equal to 0 perfectly inelastic.
Yes, sir, done.
Now what will happen if the velocities are not along the line of impact? Look, this is called line of impact. Very important term, remember. In collision always you have to find this line. Line of impact, can you see what is that line? What is the property of that line? How I have drawn this line?
Sir, along which the normal reactions act.
Yes, along the
Common
common normal.
Common norm.
It is a common normal. In constant equation always, also we have done that. Common normal. Remember it?
Yes, sir, the rigid body.
Yes. So the same common normal is line of impact. So the collision is head on if both the velocities are along line of impact. Then there is no problem. I can take the U just like U and V. But oblique collision is there when the velocities are not along the line of impact. Then I will take their components along the line of impact in order to write the coefficient of restitution.
So in order to write what?
The coefficient of restitution, this E,
Okay, sir.
right? I have written it, all the velocities are to be taken along the line of impact. Have you understood the term E, what I have now told?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, yes.
So in every collision problem, you need to first calculate what is E and you have to conserve momentum, not energy, right? These two
Sir,
equations
sir.
you have to write. Yes.
So when the velocities of the colliding particles are not along the line of impact, after taking those the corresponding components, the other components that are there which are not along the
Yes.
line of impact, what should we do with those components?
I will discuss them in details, no problem. I'll discuss it in details. Up to this, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Bolo?
yeah, so we have to find two equations. One you said conservation of linear momentum, and the other is coefficient of restitution.
Yes.
So will that be given in the problem? Is it if it is elastic or inelastic?
Yes, E will be given, the value of E will be given.
Okay, sir.
Now there is a question that during this collision, this is Nd, we have discussed, this is a deforming force, and this is Nr, which is the deforming force. Can you find a ratio of Nr dt by Nd dt? Basically, you need to prove it that this ratio is nothing but E. Can you prove it? Just try for a few minutes. That the ratio of Nr dt by Nd dt is equal to E. Do a few calculation. You can do it. কেউ করতে পারলে এটা প্রুভ?
Yes, sir.
হয়ে গেছে? Okay, good.
Yes.
Look, you can take any body, right? Let us assume I can take this body B. So what was the initial velocity of B? Initial velocity was UB. Right? And A was UA. And final velocity was VA and VB. So due to this impulse Nd dt, can I say the momentum of B has changed from MUB to M into VB?
Yes, sir.
MB into VB minus UB? And integral of NR, it's not VB but V. Why? Because Nd dt has changed its velocity
Until there's maximum
Yes.
deformation.
until the maximum deformation is there, both of them are moving with velocity V. So it has changed to velocity from UB to V and then from V to VB. So Nr dt is equal to MB into VB minus V. Yes or no? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
And I can find what is the velocity V by conserving momentum. Can I say MA plus MB into V is equal to MA into UA plus MB into UB? And that is also nothing but MA into VA plus MB into VB. So the velocity is equal to MAUA plus MBUB by MA plus MB, or it can be also written as MAVA plus MBVB divided by MA plus MB. Now in this ratio of Nr dt by Nd dt, I can say it is V minus UB by VB minus V. So when I will put UB in this numerator, V I will replace by this one, MAUA plus MBUB divided by MA plus MB minus UB. And when I put the value V in denominator I will put this one V, because this is V, there is V B in denominator. So VB minus MAVA plus MBVB by MA plus MB. So that I can find MAUB, MBUB will get cancelled out. So it is MA into UA minus UB. Right? The ratio I have written wrong. NR dt will be, this is N d dt by NR dt. Reverse ratio. Because I have found in
It will be
yes,
reciprocal.
reciprocal, yes. Numerator is V minus UB I have written. So it is MA by MA into UA minus UB divided by MB VB will get again cancelled out. Here you will get MA into VB minus MA into VB minus VA.
That's 1 by E.
Right? So I can say that integral of NR dt by integral of ND dt equal to, this is equal to 1 by E, so that is equal to E proved. So E has also a physical significance. The significance is that coefficient of restitution is nothing but the ratio of reforming impulse divided by deforming impulse. Now you can understand that why I have said that for E equal to 1 it is elastic collision. For E equal to 1, whatever was the whatever was the impulse due to the deforming force was the same impulse due to the reforming force. Right? So they balanced each other, and I could say that the deformation was balanced by the deformation. So no more
Change in kinetic
deformation,
energy.
yes, was there at the final. So the change in kinetic energy is 0. Initial and final are same. Right? And also you can say when E equal to 0, what does that mean? E equal to 0 means the reforming force will produce no impulse. So if reforming force will give no impulse, then what will be
Maximum deformation এ থাকবে পুরো
Yes.
kinetic energy টাই
Yes. So there is
potential
only
এ রয়ে
deforming
যাবে।
force. So they will always stick together. Stick together means they will move with the same common velocity along the line of impact, and that is only the situation where we have studied they are moving with the common velocity v, right? Because no force is there which will again try to regain its original shape.
So তখন কি kinetic energy
Minimum.
ফাইনালি তো 0 হচ্ছে না?
It's not 0, it is minimum. They are moving with common velocity, so how their kinetic energy is 0? It is minimum. Yes.
Can it ever be 0 in any case?
Kinetic energy can never be 0. Why? Because look, if you talk about center of mass will only follow external force, and there is no external force. Yes or no? So if
No
there is
external
no
force.
external force, then center of mass will move with the same kinetic energy. So at least the kinetic energy of center of mass will always remain there.
Sir, please repeat.
Do you remember the kinetic energy from ground of any system can be written as kinetic energy of center of mass plus kinetic energy about center of mass?
Yes, sir.
So kinetic energy about center of mass is that quantity can never be 0 here. Kinetic energy of center of mass, kinetic energy of center of mass can never be 0, because kinetic energy of center of mass depends only on the external force, and there is no external force acting on the system.
So it will continue its initial velocity.
Yes, so kinetic energy of the
So
center
what
of
is the
mass,
formula, sir, of that kinetic energy?
kinetic energy with respect to center of mass is half mu v relative square, and of the
Yes,
kinetic
that one.
energy is half into v cm square into total mass. It is the kinetic energy of the center of mass. All right. So is this clear? Then we have understood what is happening inside the collision.
So half into total mass into?
V center of mass square.
Yes, sir.
That is the kinetic energy of the center of mass. Look, this question says before and after collision, the situations of a collision of particle with a smooth floor is shown in figure. find its coefficient of restitution. So a ball comes here, hits this flow. Flow means horizontal flow, a smooth flow, and goes back in this direction. So in terms of alpha and beta, can you find what is the coefficient of restitution? Yes. Before and after collision, the situation is shown. So look, if I say that just before the collision, it strikes with velocity u, and after the collision, it comes with velocity v. Then I take only ball as a system, only the ball. If I take only the ball as my system, on the ball, in which direction the impulsive force acts? On this ball,
Upward.
only upward impulsive force is there. Is there any impulse?
So why only upward?
Because there is no force on the ground. Ground is frictionless. If there were friction,
Only
then
normal reaction is the impulsive force.
yes. Friction can also be impulsive, but here there is smooth floor, so no friction force is there. Right? So I can say that along the floor,
Sir,
conservation of linear momentum can be applied. Yes.
sir, the line given means the blue line, is it perpendicular to the floor?
Yes, this line is perpendicular to the floor.
If there is no friction, then how did the angles change? I'm not getting there.
How the angles are changed?
Yes, sir.
Angle will be changed because the speeds are not same. U and V are not same. If coefficient of restitution is 1, then only U and V will be the same. Otherwise, U and V will not be the same.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Right? So along the floor, if conservation of linear momentum we apply, can I say U sine alpha is equal to V sine beta? will get cancelled out. Equal to V sine beta. Can I write that?
Sir, please repeat, sir.
Along this line is no impulse line. So along this no impulse line, can I say that their momentum, the velocity of the ball
Conserve.
will remain constant? No momentum change of the ball will be there.
Okay, sir.
Now along this normal direction, this is the line of impact. Yes or no? This is also the line of impact. Coefficient of restitution E is equal to, can I say V cos beta minus 0 divided by 0 minus of U cos alpha. Can you explain why I have written it like this?
Sir, as they are in, one is downward and another is upward.
So
They
there
were
are,
considering the mass as the second
floor
body.
is
So,
another body.
yes, look, what is 0?
Sir, I can't hear you.
Velocity of the floor.
Yes,
Hello?
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
0 is the velocity of flow. Check your internet connection.
Sir, I guess the mic problem this is.
Yes. So V cos beta and minus 0, that 0 is the velocity of the floor because collision is taking place between the ball and the floor. So 0 is the velocity of the floor divided by 0 again velocity of the floor minus velocity of the ball. So in numerator I have written velocity of ball minus velocity of floor. In denominator I have written velocity of floor minus velocity of ball. But this time velocity of ball was downward direction, though that is why I have taken negative. So that is V cos beta divided by U sin alpha, U cos alpha. And what is V by U? Sin alpha by sin beta into cos beta by cos alpha. So the answer is tan alpha cot beta. Okay. Now look, there is this question which says a ball hits an inclined plane such that before and after collision its velocities are 4 I cap plus j cap and I cap minus 3 j cap. Find the coefficient of restitution.
Is the inclined plane fixed?
The inclined plane is fixed, but it is not given that inclined plane is making how much angle with the horizontal. So that may be any plane. Inclined plane may be anything. But the initial and final velocities are given. Can we find the coefficient of restitution from this data? So let us assume this to be an inclined plane like this, right? And this is the normal of this inclined plane. So I can assume two different axes. One is t axis, one is n axis. N means normal, t for tangent. And suppose the ball comes along this line and it moves like this, right? This is the u vector, it is the v vector. It is the n cap, direction of normal. This is the t cap, direction of tangent. This angle is alpha, this angle is beta. Along this is a smooth floor, inclined plane. So I can say along this line there is no impulse. Yes,
No impulse.
No impulse. So if this line along this line there is no impulse, then only impulse acts along this line. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So can I say that the change in momentum occurs along normal only? Because impulse is only along this normal. Is this logic clear?
Yes, sir. Only that direction it will change.
So what is the change in momentum? Change in momentum is m into v minus u, right? V minus u vector if you do, so minus 3 I cap minus 4 j cap. Yes or no? This is the change in momentum, direction of change in momentum. Can I write that the normal, this n cap is nothing but the direction of this vector? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. We'll divide it by 25.
So n cap, I can say n cap is equal to 3 I cap plus 4 j cap divided by 5. Yes or no?
So will there be any
Minus.
minus sign?
Now,
There will be a minus sign. M will get cancelled out and 3 I cap plus 4 j cap, the magnitude is 5. Yes or no?
Please wait a bit.
sir, I didn't get this thing. How?
Which one?
How did you derive the n thing?
N cap. Look, change in linear momentum only happens along normal direction. Because along tangent direction there is no change in momentum.
Yes, sir.
So the change in momentum is this vector. So if this vector happens along normal direction, so the unit vector of this one is along the normal only.
Yes, sir. But this one was very peculiar to derive.
Why? Because you have to understand that momentum changes along this line. So any vector can be along this line if the unit vector is this one. You can multiply it with any scalar quantity, you will find a vector that lies along n vector.
Yes. The del V is in that direction, then we found out.
Now I have to find the coefficient of restitution. Can I say coefficient of restitution is mod V cos beta divided by mod u cos alpha? Yes or no?
So please wait.
Yes, sir.
Now, how do I find mod v cos beta?
V dot n cap.
V dot n cap. V dot n cap is
Absolute value.
yes. V dot n cap is nothing but mod v cos beta. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what is mod u cos alpha? Can you tell me what is mod u
U
cos
dot
alpha?
T cap.
Yes.
Minus
U dot T cap.
minus
No. U dot t cap is how cos the angle between u and t is how much?
minus u
Minus u dot n cap.
Minus u dot n cap. Because u vector lies in this line. Right?
U dot minus n cap actually.
Yes. The angle between n cap and u vector is 180 minus alpha. Right? So that is why I can say it's minus u dot n. Now it is very simple. I know what is v
What
vector.
180 minus alpha?
This angle.
Yes, sir.
So that is why minus cos alpha. I have put a minus sign before that. I know what is v vector. I know what is u vector, and I know what is the n cap vector also. Can I derive this from value? What is this?
Yes, sir.
Just try to find the value.
Nine by 16.
Yes, the answer is 9 by 16. A particle is projected with velocity u that makes angle theta with horizontal. At a distance d from the point of projection, the particle collides with a smooth vertical wall and comes back to its original position. Find the coefficient of restitution of the collision with the wall. So this is the particle
So what is the
projected.
initial path?
Yes,
Which one is the initial path?
this is the initial position. This is the initial path, and then it again hits the floor or hits the wall and comes back in this path,
Okay, sir.
right? And this distance is d. From this data, can you calculate what is the coefficient of restitution here? Look, when I project this particle like this, at this topmost point, the particle collides with that vertical wall. So due to this collision, what will be the velocity just after the collision? With what velocity in horizontal direction the particle will come back? With what
So please
horizontal
repeat,
velocity?
sir.
With what horizontal velocity the particle will come back after collision? During this entire path, the horizontal component of u was u cos theta, that was constant. But after collision, will it again be constant, or what will be the value of u cos theta?
No, sir. It will be changed by the impulsive normal force.
Yes, so what is the value of that? If I say it is ux, can I say ux divided by u cos theta is equal to e?
Obviously, sir.
So ux equal to e into u cos theta. What about the vertical component of the velocity? Will it change?
No, sir. It's no impulse line.
Yes. So if vertical velocity does not change due to this impulse, can I say that the total time of flight of a projectile motion only depends on the vertical component of velocity?
Yes, sir.
So the time of flight of this projectile motion remains same or not?
Sir. It's bit, sir.
Time of flight of this projectile motion remains same because the vertical component of the velocity is not
The same
hampered.
as in case of normal projectile.
Normal projectile motion.
Oh,
Because vertical direction no impulse is there, only it is moving under gravity. In vertical direction it is moving under gravity, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
No
sir.
impulse is there. So can I say it is still 2u sine theta divided by g?
Yes, sir.
So what is the time taken to move from here to here? Is it d by u cos theta? And time taken from here to here, is it d by eu cos theta?
Yes, sir.
So what is capital T? Is it T1 plus T2 only?
Yes, sir.
So put the value, you'll find your answer. 2u sine theta by g is equal to d by u cos theta plus d by eu cos theta. So 1 plus 1 by e is equal to 2u square cos square theta divided by g. Sorry, 2u square cos theta sine theta divided by g.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So that is range divided by g.
Divided by GD, no?
Yes.
DG, yes, sir.
So u square sine 2 theta divided by d into g. So what is e? It's d into g divided by d into g minus u square sine 2 theta. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. So please wait a bit, sir. Oops, I didn't consider the time of flight. So please wait a bit.
No, I think it will be this minus dg. Yes.
Yes.
Please wait. Sir,
Bolo?
so is it mentioned that the particle hits the wall at its highest point of projectile?
It is not mentioned here. It is not needed that particle will hit the
So
highest
still
point.
the time of flight will remain same.
Yes. Why the time of flight will change? Time of flight, suppose its vertical component is u sine theta. And I can
Yes,
say
sir.
its displacement vertical direction is 0. In between there is only gravitational acceleration acting on it. So what is the time of
Along
flight?
that component, there's nothing else.
Yes. At this point there is no impulse along vertical line. So vertical velocity is not hampered.
Okay, sir.
Clear this one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll leave this question for your homework. Now suppose a train is coming with a velocity v and a ball is projected with velocity u towards the train. Find the velocity of the ball after the collision if the collision is elastic. Train means here you have to assume that the mass of the train is definitely much more than the mass of the ball. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So in this type of case, what will be the velocity of the ball after collision? Since mass is very large, can I say that the velocity of the train remains constant?
Well,
Although theoretically it is not there. Theoretically, if you find whatever may be the mass, large mass is, there will be a very negligible change in velocity. But I can neglect that. Velocity of train remains constant. So I can assume the train to be at rest. Right? So with respect to the train, as the velocity is not constant, so it is an inertial frame. With respect to the train, with what velocity the ball is approaching?
U plus V.
U plus V. So with respect to the train, at what velocity the ball will go back?
U plus V.
So with respect to ground, now what will be the velocity of the ball?
Okay, U plus 2V. Plus 2. Please wait a bit. Please wait a bit. So we are able to do this because we have considered the velocity to be constant.
Yes, you cannot change the velocity of this train. With this ball, you cannot change it. If their masses were not, if their masses were comparable, then I could have applied the
So
conservation
then,
of
due to which
momentum.
principle will it go back with U plus V only?
With respect to this, if it is coming with U plus V, then it should move with E into U plus V velocity. But E is 1 here. It is mentioned it is elastic collision.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right? That is why I have taken this is U plus V only.
Sir, can we do it from that ground frame, like the velocity approach is U plus V and the other velocity is V1 minus V?
Yes, also you can do it from ground frame. By taking the coefficient of restitution, you can also do it. Right? But that is also one way to solve it.
Sir, done.
Right? In ground frame, if you want to do it, suppose this velocity is Vx. So from ground, we can write this equation. From ground, I can say it is Vx minus V. Vx minus V divided by V minus of minus U equal to 1. Can I write it?
Whose velocity is Vx?
After the collision, the ball is moving with Vx velocity, let us assume.
Okay.
Right? So velocity of ball minus velocity of train divided by velocity of train minus velocity of ball. Can I write it to be 1?
Yes, sir.
Right? In both the case, I have maintained the velocity of train to be V. So Vx minus V equal to U plus V. So Vx equal to U plus 2V.
Yes, in both cases you have taken the velocity to be same. Okay.
Right? This effect is known as slingshot effect.
So can you also do it by conservation of momentum?
Why momentum will be you can do it, but in that case again you will find the same velocity. Conservation of momentum is only used to find the velocity of the train also, but the mass is very large compared to small m, so that is why even if you do it, you will find the same answer. No need to do it.
Sir.
Yes.
So here it is given that it is projected.
Yes, projected.
Yes. So will it not have a tendency to come down due to gravity?
Just before and after collision, it's not like that. Even if you do it, its velocity, horizontal velocity will always be u. Right? I'm only talking about the horizontal velocity. Projected means it's not a projectile motion. Just before and after collision, the velocities you have to find. What will happen after that? That is a different issue.
Okay, means it is projected horizontally just before collision.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Clear everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This slingshot effect is very useful if you have to increase velocity of any object, right? So it is used to increase the velocity of the rockets, right? Rockets or spaceships. A ball of mass 2m hits a series of 3 balls BCD of mass m each with velocity u. Find the velocity of each ball after all the collisions are over. Right? So So let us take the dimensions of all the balls same, including this ball A, right? Dimensions do not matter here. So this ball hits with U, and first it hits with B, and this collision go on until all the balls attain their terminal velocity or the uniform speed, right? So until all the collisions are over, can you tell me what are the velocity of these balls?
Sir, may I please give one more try?
Yes.
Sir, first 2m is 2u by 3, second is u by 6, third and fourth is u by 12.
Now, look, when A hits B first, right? When A hits B first, what is the velocity after the collision? B was at rest, A hits with velocity u. So suppose after the collision, velocity of B becomes v, v1.
Sir, v1 is 4u by 3 and the after velocity of A is 2u by 3.
Okay, so velocity of A, suppose it changes from u to u1.
So please repeat what you've considered.
I said just after the collision, just before collision, velocity of A was u and velocity of B was 0, and after collision A becomes u to u1 and B becomes 0 to v1. Yes or
Okay,
no?
sir.
So what equation I can write? Conservation of linear momentum, can I write 2m u1 is equal.
How can we have conservation of linear momentum?
Why not?
Impulsive force, no.
I have taken them as a system.
Please wait, sir. Okay, sir.
2m into u is equal to 2m into u1 plus m into v1. Can I write it?
Sir, I use that E concept, sir. E.
E is also needed, but one equation cannot solve two unknowns. u1 and
না স্যার
v1
আমি
both are
আমি
unknown.
করেছি স্যার বলবো আমি
বলো?
হ্যাঁ মানে ওটা ইউ থেকে v1 ধরেছেন না u1 হ্যাঁ স্যার ওটা আমি ধরেছি v1 by u1 divided by u is equal to 1 e equal to 1 বলে
v1
minus u1
by u equal
divided
to
by
1. তো এখান থেকে তুমি v1 আর u1 কি করে সলভ করবে?
Sir, I didn't use the momentum one for thinking that impulsive force is along that line.
Why impulsive force will be there? Both them as a system, there is no impulsive force.
Okay, sir.
So 2u is equal to 2u1 plus v1. That is one equation. Another equation is coefficient of restitution. It is v1 minus e1 divided by u minus 0 equal to 1. Yes or no?
Absolutely, sir.
So v1 minus u1 is equal to u, and v1 plus 2u1 is equal to 2u. From this, if I add or subtract from here to here, so 3u1 is equal to u. u1 is equal to u by 3, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And v1 is equal to u plus u1, so it is 4u by 3. Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
So after the first collision, the velocity of A becomes 4u by 3 and velocity of B becomes u by 3. But now B will again hit C
Yes.
Sir.
Now the chain will continue.
and C will again hit D. Do you
No,
know that if two equal masses do an elastic collision, their
No.
velocities are transferred?
Yes, sir.
So velocities will get halved, no?
No, their velocities are interchanged.
Out in the first
They will
equation.
directly transfer the velocities.
Yes, their velocities are just interchanged. A very simple formula you can use, that if masses are same, if masses are same, suppose this is VA and suppose this is VX, this is VY. Bolo?
So ওটা কি স্যার VAX?
I'm saying that if two equal or similar balls, they collide elastically, then after collision their velocities will get interchanged. Do you know that?
Sir, I don't know that.
If E equal to 1, you can prove it. How?
Sir,
Suppose,
Second,
yes,
this part, can you please repeat it again?
I have said that for an elastic collision, if two equal masses are colliding, their velocities get interchanged.
So can we try to prove at home, sir?
It's very simple. You can prove it. Yes, you can also prove it here. That if suppose I can conserve linear momentum, can you see mu plus mv is equal to mu prime plus mv prime?
Yes, sir.
So u plus v equal to u prime plus v prime. Also, as e equal to 1, is it u prime minus v prime divided by v minus u?
Divided by u minus v, I think.
No, I have written.
So
Sorry.
you have done something opposite.
Yes, this is u prime and this is v prime. Okay, no problem. So u prime minus v prime by v minus u equal to 1. Can I write it?
Yes, sir.
So the second equation you will get that v minus u is equal to u prime minus v prime.
Got it, sir. After solving, we'll get.
Yes, and v plus u is equal to u prime plus v prime. So if you solve it, you will find that v prime.
V is equal. V is equal to u prime and u is equals to v prime.
Yes, v prime will be equal to u and u prime will be equal to v. Right, so that is a very important relation. You can say that if their collision is elastic, after collision their velocities will be interchanged. So, can you tell me after B and C collide, what will be the velocity of C? Velocity of C will be u by 3?
Yes, no, so 4u by 3, no.
Yes, velocity of C.
Yes, 4u by 3, no.
So after first collision, yes. After first collision, velocity of A becomes u by 3. Velocity of B is transferred to C. And velocity of C is transferred to D, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So finally the velocity of D will be 4u by 3, yes or no?
Yes, and the others will remain
And
at
B
rest.
and C will remain at rest. But now A will again hit B
Oh,
because it is coming with u by 3.
oh. Okay.
Now can you say that after this collision, velocity of A will become u by 9 because it is 1/3 of initial velocity?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. U by 9. Then again, that will get.
So it is u by 9 and B will start moving with what velocity? B will start moving with 4 by 3 into u by 9.
Yes,
U
sir.
by 3,
4u by 27 then.
4 by 3 into u by 3. So 4u by 9.
But
So 4 by 3, no.
So finally the velocity of C will be 4u by 9, yes or no?
So D will be running away by this time.
Yes, definitely. Look, velocity of D is greater than velocity of C. So they will no longer collide again.
Okay, sir.
So after this collision, A hits B with u by 9. So what will be the velocity of A finally?
u by 27.
U by 27, and then velocity of B will be 4u by 27. These are your answers.